Gallbladder 21 is located midway between Do14 at the base of C7 and the lateral extremity of the acromion process, but at the crest of the trapezius muscle. To find the crest of the muscle, it may be necessary to dip down slightly to make sure you get the highest part. This point forms a line with Sanjiao 15 and small intestine 13. Gallbladder 21. Large intestine 14 is located on a line joining large intestine 11 to large intestine 15. It's often described as being 3/5 of the distance between large intestine 11 and large intestine 15, but this isn't always very accurate. The best way to find it is to have a person adduct their arm against pressure and then palpate down until you find a nice depression on the inferior aspect of the deltoid muscle. It's important to realise that when the arm is relaxed, this point isn't at the exact tip of the deltoid, it's slightly anterior and slightly superior on a line joining these 2 points.
Do14 is on the posterior midline, below the spinous process of C7 in a depression. Do12 is on the posterior midline, below the spinous process of T3.
Bladder 10 is located 1.3 sun lateral to Do15. It's 4.5 sun from Do15 to the mastoid process. So divide this area into 3 and just come a little closer to the posterior midline. You'll be on the lateral edge of the trapezius muscle. To locate gallbladder 20, palpate up the groove in between the sternocleidomastoid and trapezius muscles. As you get to the base of the occiput, you will find a nice depression. Gallbladder 20 is in the centre of that depression. Large intestine 20 is located in the nasolabial groove, level with the midpoint of the ala nasi. The ala nasi is the nostril, so find the superior border of the nostril, the inferior border of the nostril, hence the midpoint, and come out into the nasolabial groove. Sanjiao 17 is located in the dip behind the earlobe. It's between the ramus of the mandible and the mastoid process. Be careful that you don't put this point on bone, it's in between the bones in a dip.
Ren 22 is on the anterior midline in the suprasternal fossa, 5 fens superior to the suprasternal notch. Large intestine 4, you're going to find the length of the second metacarpal bone. So running your finger down, finding the base, making sure that you're not actually on the carpal bones themselves, finding the midpoint of that shaft of bone, coming between the first and second metacarpals, nearer to the second than the first in the muscle.
Sanjiao points on the forearm are best located with the arm laying flat on the bed and the elbow turned outwards. To find Sanjiao 5, come 2 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4, in between the radius and the ulna. You should be on the radial side of the tendon of extensor digitorum communis. If the person wiggles their fingers, this tendon will come into relief. Large intestine 11 is located at the midpoint between lung 5 and the prominence of the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. Typically, this is at the end of the transverse cubital crease when the arm is fully flexed.